scientists. Today we are going to do a tutorial in TinkerCAD, which is a really fun web-based application to do some 3D designing that you can then print on a 3D printer. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to TinkerCAD.com. We're going to land on this page. You're going to want to go ahead and click Join Now, and you're going to want to create a profile. Now, you do have to be 13 or older and have your own email address in order to create a profile on TinkerCAD. If you're younger than 13, parents are going to have to help you out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign in. All right. When you land, you are going to see there's, as you can see, I have quite a few designs in here, a lot of them students. When you land, you're going to get a profile. You will hopefully get to walk through a tutorial, but if you skip the tutorial, go ahead and just hit Create New Design. Once that design loads, you're going to notice a few things on this. We've got our big blue work plane. This is really, really, really important to always know where your work plane is. Also, as we're working in 3D space, we can zoom in, we can zoom out, we can rotate using our little block up here. You can also, if you have a mouse, you can right-click and drag, and you can move your work plane around. It's a little tricky to be working in a 3D space in a 2D space, 2 dimensions, because right now it's flat and we're going to be trying to use our imagination and see something in 3 dimensions. Up at the top here, it automatically gives your creation a name. Generally, they're kind of crazy. Go ahead and change that if you'd like to actually name it to what you're going to be making. If not, go ahead and leave it your crazy name. Over here on the right side, you're going to see all of the shapes that we can use. We've got all of our basic shapes, and we've got a drop-down menu of some really, really cool shapes. You can do dinosaur bones. You can also build things to work with circuits, so you can have, like this one is for an LED light, can build that into whatever your design is. So today we're just going to build something super simple. I'm going to go ahead and try and make a rocket ship really quickly. So first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and select which shape you want. I'm going to drag a cylinder over, place it on your work plane. Pops up, great. So now we've got something on the work plane. We're going to go ahead. If you click the top square, we can change how tall it is. If you click these white squares, we can change how big it is there. I'm going to try and move it back to square if I can. There we go. If you click on the red squares, it only moves that one dimension rather than changing all of the sides. You click on that black square. You can also, although it doesn't make a difference for our cylinder, you can rotate around all 3 axes. So I'm going to go ahead and keep my cylinder upright because we're building a rocket. All right. Next thing, I'm going to go ahead and put a nose cone on top. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. My nose cone right now is on my work plane, which doesn't help me very much. So if I click this black triangle, it will raise it up off the work plane for me. And then I can move it to on top of my cylinder. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit more. 70, there we go, sitting right on top. Perfect. I'm going to move my work plane around so I can see what looks kind of like a pencil right now in all angles, because I want to make sure that that nose cone is actually sitting right on top of it and not floating or off to the side or something like that. All right, next thing I am going to do is I am actually going to draw my own fins for my rocket. So I'm going to go ahead and select Scribble and drag it over, and we're going to pop up with this screen that I get the chance to actually draw what size and what shape fins that I want. Don't make fun of my drawing skills. I am currently working on a trackpad when I'm used to a mouse. But Scribble is really fun because you can design any shape you want, and what's going to happen is the program is going to head and take your two-dimensional drawing, which we're doing right now, and it's going to create 3 dimensions from that. Fill in all those holes. Boom. Now I've got a rocket fin. Okay, I'm going to say done. And as you can see, now it has 3 dimensions. I've got height right here. It's 10 millimeters high. And I've got depth and width. Okay, so right now this is not going to work to be a rocket fin. So I'm going to have to rotate it. And I'm going to want to rotate it. Where is my... All right, so now I'm going to want to rotate it. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees to the side. I'm going to move my screen back. And at this point, I can also copy my fin. So you can use Control V, or you can use duplicate and repeat. So I'm going to hit Control C and Control V, and now I've got 2, and I'm going to make 3 of them for me. I'm going to put them around my rocket. All right, let me go ahead and do that really quick. All right, so now I have got my rocket fins on my rocket. As you can see, all the way around. Ooh. As I'm checking, I see that this one is actually a little bit off the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and I will lower that one down to the work plane. And now it's even on there. Awesome. All right. So now what I'm going to want to do is I want to make sure that all of my pieces don't actually move when I accidentally bump it or move it. So I'm going to go ahead and group all of them together. You can individually select each piece like I just did, or you can click and drag and select the pieces. You want to make sure I've got 5 shapes. I have 5 selected up here, and I'm going to click this button that says Group. And now my rocket becomes all orange. If I want to change the color of my rocket, I can go ahead and press that button. I can also hit multicolor if I like the colors that I had before. I think I'm going to make my rocket blue today. And then the last thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to put a little window in my rocket because got to have, you know, somewhere for the astronauts to look out. So I'm going to use, I think I'll use a sphere today. And I'm going to go ahead and make this a hole. So that is, you can either select that or you can hit H and it will make my little sphere right here into a hole, which means that it will actually be subtracted from whatever I put it into. So I'm going to make it pretty skinny, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And now I'm going to move it up, and then I'm going to move it onto my rocket. I'm going to set it in my rocket just a little bit. just like that. And now I'm going to select both my rocket and my sphere that's a hole, and I'm going to group those. And now you can see that I've got a little cutout of my window where the sphere used to be. So it's a really easy way to create a hole. You can also use it to create a negative of something. So let's say if you have a peg and a hole, you can create a negative of the peg and that it will fit exactly inside the hole. All right, so there's our really simple rocket. There's a lot of fun things that you can do, a lot of things that you can change, you can manipulate. They're really fun. I would love to see your creations. If you want to take a picture, take a snapshot, post it on social media, go ahead and use the hashtag ExplorationWorks TinkerCAD, and I would love to check them out. All right, scientists, thanks for exploring with me today, and until next time, stay curious.